Today is Madonna's birthday, and we are going to take a look at her birth chart. So happy birthday to Madonna, who is turning 67 years old. I am a Gen X, so I grew up on Madonna. I grew up on her books. I grew up on her movies. I grew up on her dancing style. I have a special love for this era, and I have a special love for I would say she was one of the biggest icons of this time. Madonna really made her way for many women to express themselves and basically show off who they are, right? And didn't ask for permission. She came from a very humble background. She is Italian. I believe, I can't remember where she grew up, but went to New York, struggled, and made something of herself with her singing, her dance moves, everything. So let's get into her birth chart. So first of all, Madonna is a life path 11. A life path 11 is seen as a master number. It comes with a lot of journey. It comes with a lot of controversy as well. Other life path 11s that I can think of off the top of my head, Kanye. It's very interesting because she is very controversial still, even at her old age. There's a lot of conspiracies and controversies about her, but we're going to get into the stuff we do know about Madonna. We know Madonna is very, very driven off of sexuality. And she's an amazing performer. You know, her vocal skills are what they are, but she knows how to entertain like no other, and a lot of people were captivated with her looks. She is a sun in Leo. Sun in Leo, they're confident. Most of the time, sun in Leo, they got a good persona of being like glamorous, beautiful, and her looks were striking. Also, she is a Venus in Leo. Now, a Venus in Leo is very confident when it comes to areas of intimacy. It also comes with areas of relationship. A Venus in Leo does fall in love quick, okay? I talked about that before. And what's also interesting about a Venus in Leo, I believe she's had like many husbands, right? She's had many husbands. She's had many relationships, very famous relationships, right? Another thing that's very striking about her is that she has a Uranus in Leo as well. Now, the Uranus in Leo, to me, makes me think that she totally stands out in areas of rebellion. Like, if they thought she was going to be a sweet, pop star, she basically shook that up. She definitely did not want to conform to society's approval. I remember her having a very controversial song in Papa Don't Preach, and she's like, Papa don't preach, I'm keeping my baby, Papa don't preach. And a lot of people were like, oh my goodness, because back in that time, like, people just did not talk about teenage pregnancy. They did not talk about stuff like that. It was just testing the boundaries of certain religions, especially Catholic. She grew up a Catholic. And what's interesting about her growing up Catholic is she did everything the Catholic Church would probably disapprove of. She was talking about lots of sex. She was talking about lots of different type of relationships, woman, man, woman and woman, man, man. Like, she was just talking about it all. And everybody was like, oh my gosh, Madonna's pushing all the boundaries. Oh gosh, I can't believe she was a good Catholic girl. She was a Catholic girl. She definitely was. You know what they say about them Catholic girls, honey. So she definitely has that little Leo energy, just quite nice. But she also has a lot of Virgo energy. And what's interesting is she has a moon in Virgo. And a lot of people, we see that duality about Madonna, right? A lot of people love to criticize her, who she is, this dark, divine whore. She's just not very ladylike, but she's very much oozing out of sexuality, so a lot of people like that about her, and that she does have that emotional base to her with that Virgo moon. Also, her ascendant is a Virgo. Now, to me, if I was just looking at Madonna and, and not looking at her chart, to me, she doesn't really necessarily scream Virgo. I always felt there was a fire energy in her. To me, the Leo makes sense. The Leo makes a lot of sense with Madonna. It's that solar spirit. It's that spirit of the soul that is close to who that individual is at the most. So me necessarily, I don't really see her as a Virgo ascendant, but some people can, because if you're looking at that duality of the maiden and the whore, you will definitely say she's more of than the maiden, that's for sure. But also, and I love me some Madonna, is the Mercury in Virgo. Mercury in Virgo lets me know she's a good thinker. Baby girl's got some communication skills. Also a Mercury in Virgo, you will see areas around the voice and also youthful appearances. So high Mercury placements tend to have youthful appearances. So that can also stand for some Aquariuses too, because Mercury exhalates in Aquarius. Now let's talk about the second house, okay? Because most of the energy that we talked about was right around the 1st and the 12th house. But let's talk about her second house. Her second house screams boss bitch, rich bitch. It's given I'm gonna be making money type energy. It's given I got a lot to prove type energy, and I know how to use it. So what's interesting about Madonna's chart is Libra energy. It's in the second house. Now Libra energy, the second house, traditionally the second house is ruled by Taurus, but this time it's kind of showing that energy of Libra. And we have Jupiter. People with Jupiter in the second house have a strong presence of creating expansion with material gains and also with luxury. Libra as well represents luxury. It also represents rich money. Now, a lot of billionaires, I'm talking billions and millionaires, will have a Jupiter either in the Taurus or in the Libra. But to have a Libra in the second house with the Jupiter, it feels quite nice. It feels quite divine. It feels like a cosmic blueprint that she was born to be successful. She was born to have money, even though she wasn't born into a family that had generational quote unquote big wealth. She was able to make it because it was almost like a blueprint to her of who she is. The thing that also stands out to me when I look at her chart is not just that, but then the Neptune in Scorpio. The Neptune in Scorpio lets me know that she is centered around areas of sexuality and also areas of other people's money in some presence, even though it's kind of like making people dream of their own sexuality and making them desire it. Now, if the Neptune was in Scorpio in the 8th house, it would fit really quite well. But this time it happens to be in the 3rd house, where a lot of people are talking about her. Talk. I mean, Madonna became famous because people couldn't stop fucking talking about the bitch. Now, the Saturn in Sagittarius in the 4th house does let me know she has some restrictions around areas of family and also the energy around social circles and also the energy of communication. You know, she probably had to do a lot of battles to be outward and outspoken as she truly was, but she did. Another thing that stands out to me, of course, when we are looking at her chart, is the 9th house, where she has a Mars in Taurus. That 9th house represents the area of philosophy. It also represents big travel and lifelong moves, and that Mars is your creative passion. So she was destined to be who she is. No doubt about it. It wasn't a makeup. It wasn't a fucking accident. Madonna, this was her fucking blueprint to be Madonna. I mean, just look at the name. Shit.